Did I have any other reason to film today besides having just gotten my hair done? No. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby and today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag. I'm going to be doing this for two different reasons. One, I am a Booktube newbie. I've only been making Booktube content for a couple of months. And two, I am in a reading slump so bad, there's literally nothing else to do. Also, this is the blondest I am ever going to be, so thought I'd turn on the camera. The whole purpose for this video is honestly very conceited. So question number one is, why did you start your channel? I started my channel because I started reading again very abruptly. I've been reading my whole life, but I kind of stopped when I started college, and then out of the blue my mental health really decided to just absolutely nosedive. And I kind of scrambled back to the comfort that books gave me, but I didn't have anybody to talk about book things with, and so I kind of changed my already existing but kind of dormant channel into a booktube channel where I could talk about all of the books that I had been reading during that terrible, terrible time. Question number two, what are some fun and unique things that you bring to BookTube? Ultimately, the nicest thing about BookTube is the fact that people can literally do the same exact thing and every video will be different because everybody has different opinions. So there's not a whole ton of pressure to be super unique, which I don't feel like happens in a lot of spaces. But I will take the opportunity to compliment myself and say that I think that I read kind of a wide-ish range of books in terms of popularity. I definitely like to read like the new releases that are getting a lot of buzz, but I also like to go back on like some older books that maybe didn't get a lot of buzz or newer releases that are a little bit underrated. I also have a really fun end of the year game that I have planned, which I won't get into all of the details with it, but I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be really fun. For like the 10 people that end up watching it, you're gonna be in for a real treat. Question number three is, what are you most excited for about this channel? And for me, it's honestly getting better. This is gonna sound a little bit conceited, so bear with me, but I have pretty much stuck to the same hobbies my entire life. I'm a very ride or die person. If I like a thing, it is my thing. If I don't like a thing, it will never be my thing. And for the longest time, writing was my thing, and it still is my thing, it always will be my thing. I am first and foremost a lover of wordsmithing, but this whole booktube thing is a new hobby, which I don't really get new hobbies. So I'm fully aware that I'm really bad at this. And it's kind of exhilarating because, like, once again, not to brag, but I have been doing most of my hobbies my whole life. So like, I've put in the 10,000 hours. I'm pretty good at what I do, but I'm not good at this. And it's been so exciting to see myself get better, even though like, with getting better, I'm still not that good. It's been so rewarding, and like, honestly, that is the thing that I'm the most excited about moving forward, because like, with every video, I feel myself getting more confident. I think I'm getting better at editing, and I just cannot wait to see where it goes. I am having such a good time, and it is so nice to like not be good at a thing and just be okay with that. Question number four is, why do you love reading? And the easiest answer would just be the escapism. Escapism is just a beautiful thing, but I'm also a big fan of like the imaginative spiral that certain books can send you into, which I would argue is not the same as escapism, because rather than like being completely out of my own head, I'm fully in my head, just making the book that I just read a little bit better, in my opinion. Like, I love to read a book and then just constantly think about like how I would have slightly tweaked it or how I would expand on the idea, all of that stuff. I love pretending to be either like the editor of the book or like the person that's making the movie for the book. In my mind, months after reading the book, I love to just be like, what would I change? What would I fix? How would I like blow this whole universe up? Question number five is, which book or series got you into reading? And for me, there wasn't a particular one that got me into reading because I started reading when I was really young, but in no particular order. Some books that did have like a big impact on me and definitely like helped in my overall love for reading. Book of 1,000 Days by Shannon Hale is like my favorite book ever. I love the Hunger Games series. I think that they are amazing books, and I will take that opinion with me to the grave. I got really into the like Scholastic 39 Clues series when I was in elementary school, and through most of middle school as well. Those were very much the type of books where like I would read them and then immediately be like, all right, how can we make this better? Because they're not fantastic books, but oh, the universe that they made. I just had such a fun time as a kid just being like, okay, this is gonna be my universe now, and in my head I'm gonna make this way better. This was before I knew what fanfiction was. I also really appreciated like Holes and Walk Two Moons for just being like really well written books. Those are probably the first books that I was able to like say objectively were like flawlessly executed books. But yeah, I didn't have like one particular book that really got me into reading, just a lot that really solidified what was already there, which was just an all-consuming love for books of any kind, basically. Question number 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? My favorite ever booktuber would probably be Books and Lala, because it was actually her reading the Goodreads horror selections of 2020 video that like introduced me to how like fun booktube can be, and I just love her vlogs to death. I also really like Ashley's Little Library, also GQ, or not GQ, also Grace from JK, no not J, GK. Also Grace from GK Reads. There's lots of others, I can't go through every single one, but honestly the only question I would have, and I know that this is very much not the point of the booktube tag question, but I would just kind of ask how their day is going. I would just want to have a chat. That's pretty much it. Question number 7 is, what challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome in starting a new booktube channel? And my answer is probably going to be the same as most people's, which is just you spend a lot of time creating content, editing content. It's just it takes a billion years, and then you upload and you don't get the reward for the amount of work that you put in. However, this is not something that I am new to. I may be new to the actual booktube creation stuff, but I'm not new at all to the lots of work for very little reward thing, because as I mentioned, I've been writing my whole life, and if you want to talk about a thankless career, it's writing. At the end of the day, you just have to be glad for what you've done for yourself, and you have to bolster yourself up a lot. So if I'm ever coming off as being like cocky or overly nice with myself, it's because I have to be, Recognition in like my particular area of art is few and far between. So just, you gotta be nice to yourself. It's the only way to keep your head held high. So yeah, that's the answer for number 7. Question number 8 is, when did you start reading? I started reading very young, pretty much as a toddler. I am child number 3 out of 5 kids, and my mom taught each one of us how to read, and she used the same book for each of us, which I will try to find online or take a pic, or if we still have it, I'll take a picture of it and put it up and post. This book worked like a charm. All of us ended up being really into reading, except for one of us. Don't know what happened to him, but for the most part, we all really love books, really love reading, and not to brag, but in 5th grade, I broke the school record for most AR points. So yeah, I'm pretty good at this whole reading thing. This is mostly to make myself feel better about the fact that I am in the biggest reading slump ever at the moment. Anyway, moving on. Question number 9 is, where do you read? For me, pretty much wherever I can be both comfortable and focused. So sometimes that's my bed, because my bed is pretty much always comfortable, but I'm not always focused if I'm there. So sometimes I'll read on the couch. In the very brief time during the year where it is both not raining and not ridiculously hot, I will try and read outside. When I move into my new house, I'm wanting to get like a nice little reading chair to put in the corner of my room, but I don't have that much money, so we will see how long Operation Reading Chair takes. But yeah, pretty much wherever I can both focus and feel comfortable. Question number 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? For me, if an author can really nail down like the atmosphere, like I can read anything. I can like appreciate the aesthetic of pretty much every type of book. Every fiction book, I should specify. There's plenty of nonfiction that I don't understand the appeal of at all, but that's okay, it's not for me. I gravitate to thrillers and like horror novels and suspense a lot. Doesn't mean I always enjoy them, but I go for them a lot. I have been realizing that I really like historical fiction, and I need to read more of it. So definitely historical fiction. And I do love a good piece of literary fiction. I really enjoyed The Dutch House and Clara and the Sun this year. As far as commercial fiction, contemporary and romance, I do enjoy them sometimes, but I'm still kind of trying to find my niche with them. So I can't really say that either of them are genre faves, but there's still time for that. I am planning on dipping my toe into some pretty popular and well-loved romance novels, so I can kind of see if it's really for me or not. I am a huge sucker for dystopians and post-apocalyptics. You can blame The Hunger Games, not only for being a fantastic series that made me just love the genre, but then also the massive wave of subpar post-apocalyptic and dystopian novels that it birthed, because even though some of them were very, very bad, I ate those up when I was in middle school, and I still kind of have that desire deep in my heart to just read the lowest tier dystopians. They're so much fun. Like, I unironically adore The Hunger Games and think that it is like an amazingly well done series, but I am trash for trash, and a lot of that trash ends up being YA dystopian and YA post-apocalyptic books. In general though, I really value storytelling over the story. If an author is able to give me some like really engrossing writing, if they have a really tight plot, if they can give me characterization that really makes me like think and remember that character months down the line, it doesn't really matter the genre. If you can do all those things, I will read the book, I'll enjoy the book. The problem is, it is hard to know whether any of those things are going to be the case by just looking at the cover, and I'm a huge cover snob. I'm trying to be less of one, but also if a cover is hideous, I'm just not gonna do it. And I have to be completely honest, it's one of the many reasons why I don't really read any fantasy. I just don't like fantasy covers. I find most of them to be really unappealing, and there's just nothing about them that is making me want to pick them up. They're also incredibly long, and that's also just not really my vibe. And I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, but I also do feel a little too dumb for sci-fi, so that's not a genre that I frequent either. So that's all 10 questions. You now know everything there is to know about me as a booktuber. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting this channel. I would love to make some more like booktube friends, so if you are also a fellow new booktuber, talk about yourself in the comments below, and I would be so happy to check your channel out. And on that note, let's say goodbye to the freshly blonde hair, because I only have the money to do this very rarely, pretty much like once a year. So here she is.